Now we will do yoga. There are 4 pages approximately in my current notes, or 5 pages in my current notes. Yeah. Patanjali defines yoga as the cessation of modification of chitta, or chitta vritti nirodha. The yoga is closely allied to Sankhya system. It is a practical life application of Sankhya philosophy. It considers practice of yoga as the essential condition for attaining Viveka Jnana, which is considered by Sankhya as the essential path for liberation. Yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, stopping modification of mind or chitta. Yoga is practical Samkhya, liberation through self-purification plus concentration. Basic logic of yoga is Purusha is not same as mind or body or chitta. Liberation happens when functions of senses, mind, intellect and ego are restrained. Chitta. What is Chitta? Chitta is the internal instrument of Prakriti. Buddhi plus Ahamkar plus Manas. This is Chitta. Buddhi, intelligence plus ego plus mind. Though unconscious, it appears conscious because it reflects nearby Purusha. Vritti is a mental modification. Bondage. Why does bondage happen according to yoga? Purusha wrongly identifies with changing chitta due to reflection. Like moon appears moving in water, Purusha appears changing because of chitta. Liberation in yoga. When Purusha realizes I am different from Prakriti or chitta, liberation occurs. This stopping of mental modification is chitta vritti nirodha. 5 states of chitta: Kshipt, restless; Muddha, dull or blinded; Vikshipt, distracted; Ekagra, one-pointed; Niruddha, restrained. 5 stages of chitta: Kshipt, Muddha, Vikshipt, Ekagra, Nirodha. Restless, dull, distracted, one-pointed, focused, and 5th, restrained. In Kshipta or restless is dominated by Rajas and Tamas, very unstable and unfit for yoga. In the second type, which is Muddha or dull or blinded, here mind is dominated by Tamas. Vikshipta is a distracted state. Mind temporarily concentrates but still disturbed by Rajas. Some sattva appears but focus is unstable. Ekagra, mind dominated by sattva and fixed on one object. Niruddha, all mental modifications completely stopped, highest state of yoga. So first was dominated by Rajas and Tamas, second by Tamas. Okay. So first has Tamas plus Rajas, second has only Tamas, then third has Rajas with little Sattva, and then fourth has Sattva, and then fifth has nothing. Complete stoppage of modification of Chitta. Kshipt, Muddha, Vikshipt, Ekagra, restless. Niruddha, restless, dull, distracted, one-pointed, restrained. Restless as Rajas and Tamas. Muddha, dull or blinded, has Tamas. Vikshipta, distracted, has Rajas but little bit Sattva. And Ekagra has Sattva, and Niruddha has nothing. Yeah. Chitta vritti. Core idea: when Chitta contacts an object, it takes that object's form. This modification is Chitta vritti. Chitta is Buddhi plus Ahamkar plus Manas, as we discussed it earlier. 5 types of Chitta vritti: Pramana, right knowledge; wrong knowledge; imagination; sleep, or memory. All of these five create Chitta Vritti. Valid cognition through perception, inference, and testimony. They also produce Chitta Vritti. False cognition, second viparya or wrong knowledge. False cognition opposite to reality. Example, roe mistaken as a snake. This also creates Chitta Vritti. Third, vikalpa or imagination, world-based ideas with no real correspondence. Example, sky flower or hare's horn. This also causes Chitta Vritti. Now, this also a type of Chitta Vritti. Fourth, nidra or sleep. Mental activities become largely suspended. Sleep itself is treated as a mental state or a vritti. Fifth type of Chitta Vritti is due to smriti or memory. Recall of past experiences without modification. Mind produces earlier cognition as it was. Kleshas are mental afflictions. Kleshas are mental states causing suffering or bondage. They arise because Purusha identifies with mind or body. So klesha, five kleshas. First is avidya or ignorance. Second is ashmita or egoism. Third is raga or attachment. Fourth is dvesha or aversion. Fifth is abhinivesha or fear of death. Avidya, ashmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesh. First is avidya or ignorance. Second is ashmita or egoism. Third is raga or attachment. Fourth is dvesha or aversion. Fifth is abhinivesha or fear of death or fear of losing. Samadhi, two types: sampragyata samadhi, which is also called as sabija samadhi, and asampragyata samadhi, which is also called nirbija samadhi. So Ashtanga Yoga, eightfold path. Liberation comes through Vivek Jnana. It is realizing that Purusha is not same as Prakriti or mind or body. For this, Patanjali gives 8-step discipline to achieve Chitta Vritti Nirodha, cessation of mental modification. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So first four are external: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam. So Yam is nothing but maintaining. There are 5 yamas: restraints, ahimsa, asteya, non-stealing, aparigraha, non-attachment or non-possessiveness, satya, and brahmacharya. Niyam, 5 niyams as well: shauch, which is purity; santosh, which is contentment; tapas, which is austerity or self-discipline; swadhyaya, study of sacred text or self-study; Ishwar Parinidhan, surrender to God. Then there are asanas, postures, example Padmasana, Virasana, etc. Then there are pranayam, breath control, inhalation, retention, exhalation. 3 steps: Purak, Kumbhak, Richak. Pratyahar, withdrawal of senses. Senses withdrawn from external objects and brought under mind's control. Attention stops running outward. Then, these next 4, Pratyahar, Dharana, and Dhyan and Samadhi. These next 4 are internal discipline or Antaranga. So, Pratyahar, withdrawal of senses; Dharana, concentration, fixing mind on one chosen object, beginning of deep internal focus; Dhyana, meditation, continued disrupted contemplation of object; flow of concentration becomes steady; Samadhi or absorption, highest stage where modification of Chitta ceases and subject-object distinction begins dissolving. Now, types of samadhi, there are two types, main types of samadhi. One is sabija or sampragyata, and the second is nirbija or sampragyata. Sabija has four further types or steps or stages. It is savitark, savichar, sanand, sashmita. So savitark is meditation on gross physical object, like a nose tip or some idol or symbol. Savichar is meditation on subtle objects, tanmatras or subtle elements. Then sananda is meditation produces deep bliss-like state. Sashmita is like meditation on ego or self sense itself. So these are four types of Sabija Samadhi. You can choose any one, whether to focus Savitarka, gross physical object, or Savichara, subtle objects, or Sananda, bliss-like state. Meditation produces, mind becomes highly subtle or sattvic. Sashmita, meditation on ego or self or sense. Okay, so these are not four types, these are four stages or steps rather in Sabija Samadhi. Yeah. So second is B is Nirbija or Asampragyata Samadhi. No object remains here in the mind, no or known distinction disappears, mental modification and kleshas begin dissolving completely. There are two types, Bhava Pratyaya and Upaya Pratyaya. Bhava Pratyaya means residual samskaras or ignorance still remains subtly. Yogi may return to worldly experience. Then Upaya Pratyaya, ignorance and klesha completely destroyed. Final liberation oriented state, Siddhi may arise but should be avoided. Types of samadhis, Sabijas, Nirbija, yes, we discussed. Object present, yes. In Nirbija, no. Vrittis in Sabija, subtle. Vrittis in Nirbija, dissolved completely. Result in Sabija, concentrated deepens, concentration deepens, bliss, subtle ego remains. Result in Nirbija, ignorance ends, liberation possible. So Bairang and Antarang disciplines we talked about. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam and Pratyahar. These are all to prepare body and mind. These are external. Internal तीन ही है. Earlier I thought there are 4 external and 4 internal, but here it says that 5 external to prepare body and mind, and 3 internal, which leads to liberation or kaivalya, dharan, dhyana, and samadhi, concentration, meditation, and absorption. Concentration is different from meditation. Samadhi is like totally different. Concentration, then dhyana, meditate. When samadhi, where you don't think about anything. Dhyana and concentration. The difference between dhyana and dharan. Dharan, beginning of deep internal focus, fixing mind on one chosen object. And dhyana or meditation is continuous and uninterrupted contemplation of object. Flow of concentration becomes steady. So basically, Dhyana is the stable form of dharan, stable and consistent and steady state of dharan. So dharan is like a turbulent flow, and dhyan is like the non-turbulent or steady flow, and samadhi is like probably absence of any flow. Yeah. Ashtanga, internal and psychological, Dhyan, samadhi, external, Asana, pranayam, and pratyahara. The last three of the five external, first two of the five external yama and niyam. Niyam has five: ahimsa, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, and five niyams: shauch, santosh, tapas, which is austerity or self-discipline, swadhyaya, self-study, and ishwar parinidhan, surrender to higher power. God in yoga is more like as a helping hand. Samkhya mostly rejects God, but yoga accepts God mainly for practical spiritual use. Devotion to God, Ishwar Pranidhana, becomes one method of attaining samadhi. Nature of God in yoga. God is a special or supreme Purusha, untouched by kleshas, karma, fruits of karma, samskara. But God is not creator or controller like Abrahamic style God. Later yogic thinkers gave God greater theoretical importance. God becomes omniscient, omnipotent, eternal, guide, helping liberation. Later yogic view. Proof for God in yoga is Veda argument. Vedas are infallible, so limited humans cannot be their author. Hence, an omniscient God must be the source of Vedas. Facilitator argument analogies like blind or lame or magnet iron fail to fully explain Prakriti Purusha relations, so yoga accepts God as efficient facilitator or coordinator. Degree argument. Knowledge and power exist in varying degree among beings, therefore there must logically exist a highest limit. Let that be the omniscient God. Role of God in yoga we already discussed earlier. Just for concentration and samadhi, later removal of obstacles to liberation. Kaivalya. Ignorance makes Purusha identify with Chitta and Klesha. Through Vivek Jnana, through Ashtanga Yoga is achieved Vivek Jnana, I think, and through Vivek Jnana one is able to separate itself from Prakriti. There has to be two things: Vivek Jnana, discriminating knowledge, plus Chitta Vritti Nirodha, cessation of modification. When these two conditions are met, then Kaivalya is attained, where Purush distinct from Prakriti is realized. Criticism of yogic proofs of God. Infallible Vedas itself is unproved. Even Supreme Purusha remains just another Purusha. Highest degree of knowledge power does not necessarily prove infinite God. So those were the three criticisms. Now this is all related to cycle of bondage and Klesha and Kaivalya. This is all related to Klesha and Kaivalya. So casual hierarchy, avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, and then abhinivesh. Four states of Klesha: prasupt, dormant; tanu, attenuated; vichinna, interrupted; and udara, fully manifested. Prasupta exists only as latent seed awaiting suitable conditions. Tanu, attenuated, weakened through yogic discipline, influence greatly reduced, vichinna, temporarily suppressed by stronger opposing tendency but not destroyed. Udara, completely active and governing behavior. The five types of kleshas we already discussed. Avidya, four forms of misapprehension. अनित्य को नित्य समझना, असूचि को सूची समझना, that is impure को pure समझना, दुख को सुख समझना, अनात्मन को आत्मन, नॉन सेल्फ को सेल्फ समझना, बॉडी को ही सेल्फ समझना, बॉडी को ही कॉन्शियसनेस समझना, ये सब जो है 4 फॉर्म्स ऑफ मिसअप्रिहेंशंस है, अविद्या है। सो 5 क्लेशर्स में से एक है अविद्या। दे आर 5 एंड इस अविद्या में दे आर 4 फर्दर टाइप्स, not 4 types, yeah, 4 types. Ashmita, egoism or I amness, false identification of Drik Shakti, power of the seer or Purusha with Darshan Shakti, power of seeing or Buddhi or Chitta. False identification of Drik Shakti, rag or attachment, attachment arising from past pleasurable experiences, dvesha, aversion arising from past painful experiences, abhinivesha, deep instinctive attachment to embodied existence, fear of death and unwillingness to cease existing. Removal of klesha, stage 1, tanukarana, attenuation, stage 2, stage 2, complete destruction. So first is it is attenuated through Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. Then it is destroyed through Vivek Khyati. So Vivek Khyati plus Chitta Vritti Nirodha, these two are important. So Chitta Vritti Nirodha is attained by Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, and then Vivek Khyati is just knowledge. These two lead to that, right? Kriya Yoga is tapas, swadhyaya, Ishwar pranidhana. Wait a minute, Kriya Yoga sounds like tapas, pranidhana, Ishwar pranidhana, Kriya Yoga and Swadhyaya. Okay, these are Kriya Yoga. Okay, and then there are Ashtanga Yoga. This part of Ashtanga Yoga, Kriya Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga same mean. Only 2 steps. One is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and the second is Vivek Khyati. So stage 1 is Tanukarana, attenuation, and stage 2 is complete destruction. I think only one is important, Ashtanga Yoga itself, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, then Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. This 5 are external, this 3 internal. They transform Udar to Tanu. Udar level, maximum level to Tanu level. Then from Tanu, using this, totally dormant. Vidya, Smita, Ramesh, Avinivesh, Karma, then latent karma deposits, Karmasya, then Janma, Ayu and Bhog, birth, lifespan, experiences, then experiences, then samskar, mental impressions, then vasana, latent tendencies, then vritti is mental modification, then raga and dvesh strengthen, then fresh karma, and then fresh karma will lead to karmasya. Kriya Yoga looks like it is part of Ashtanga. I will clarify that later on in the second version of the lectures which I'll be taking on. I think for now it should be